So I've been using the Canon G7X for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. It does everything you need. What more do we need in life? We're so picky. But I think it's time for an upgrade, and I've been researching cameras like crazy. I went to a camera shop and tested all the popular cameras that everybody would be using. Let's check it out. So I'm going to show you a bunch of footage captured from these specific cameras, and you're going to tell me down below which camera looks best, which one should I buy. Help me out here. But before we do that, I just want to say something. If you're looking for a camera, you have to ask yourself what you're going to be shooting it for. This is so important. We get caught up in the specs and think we need, the ultimate full frame camera, that's the best one, I need that. Are you filming in a dungeon? Then you probably don't need the Sony A7S II, the best low light camera on earth. If you have lights, why do you need that? You don't need the high ISO, fuck all that shit. So ask yourself what you're doing. Are you vlogging? If you're holding handheld shit, you're a shaky motherfucker, you drinking 8 cups of coffee before noon, then you need some image stabilization in the body. Don't even look at that Canon 80D. Don't even look at it. So I'm going to show you some footage now. I tested the Panasonic G85. I tested that against the GH4, its older brother. I tested the Canon 80D. I wanted to see the autofocus and the image quality. I tested the Sony A7S II and the Sony A7 II to see what the difference was. There was a big difference. And these were all shot with really good prime lenses, fast, low aperture. That's what I want. None of this kit lens shit. Just throw that thing in the trash. So let's get into the clips and I'll show you what each one is. You tell me what's happening. So the first clip here, this is the Sony A7S II. I met somebody was selling it on Craigslist. They had a Canon 35mm 1.4 and I'm manually focusing. Just got a little clip of it. You can see the detail is the ultimate. Even though I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this camera, but it looked really good. The background was super blurry. That's what I want. I want that blurry background, damn it. So while that camera is the ultimate, it's the best camera, that's the camera Vegan Gains uses, has the best resolution, there's annoying things about it. It doesn't have that flip around screen. You can't see what you're doing. I was using a mirror on the table trying to focus myself and then get the right distance. Such a pain in the ass. So you have to ask yourself, is the ultimate image quality worth all this stupid fiddly shit? To me, that would be annoying. I'd have to get an external monitor and handheld. It wouldn't work. And the thing that put me over the line about not getting this camera, I saw a review. This guy's reviewing the Sony A7R II, which is very similar to that camera, versus the Canon 80D. He was testing the autofocus, and although the Sony A7R II looked far superior, 10 times sharper, better in every way, he looked 10 times older on that Sony camera than he did on the Canon. The Canon was softer, but he looked 10 years younger. And so I started asking myself, why do I want the ultimate resolution 4K looking at every zit on my face? So stupid. If you're filming nature, yeah, 4K is awesome. And you want the best resolution possible, but for me, I'm a health channel. I want to look better than I actually look in real life. So the highest resolution, not the best. So that first Sony A7S II clip was in 1080p and this one is in 4K. There's a slight difference. Not much though, really, because I have a 1080p monitor so I can't even see it. But really, that camera, you're dead to me. So moving to the camera shop now, I tested the Sony A7 II. It's not as good as the Sony A7S II. I had a 50mm 1.4 lens on that thing was huge and heavy. That's why it's shaky. Even with image stabilization, I couldn't keep that thing stable. So it had the nice blurry background, but it still had the no flip around screen. It didn't have any slow motion like the original Sony did. So I just figured, what's the point? Now I've been having this debate over getting a full frame camera or a smaller sensored camera, and I want that creamy background blur. Even though I'm doing green screen work a lot of the time, that ain't gonna matter a damn. But when I do my little vlogs in the kitchen or out around town, I want that creamy cinematic look. So I was wondering, could I get that look on a micro four thirds sensor camera? So let's test it out. This is gonna be the Panasonic G85. First, I tested the 20mm f1.7 lens. So first, I want to show you my camera, the Canon G7X. This is what it looked like in the shop. Background blur is pretty much non-existent. People in the background, you can see them as clear as you can see me. And that's what I don't like about this camera, so I'm looking to upgrade. So let's take a look at what the Panasonic looks like with a 20mm f1.7 lens. So here it is, a little bit more creamy background blur, but not much. It's just like a little bit better. And to me, I think that f1.7 is not low enough to get that cinematic look. It was okay, it was better than the G7X, but not by much. Then I noticed he had a 25mm 1.4 lens, so I tried that thing on, and the background was so much blurrier than that 20mm. So I was like, wow, look at that. It's got the cinematic look. It's just a lot closer to your face, and this is in 4K. All of this is still on the Panasonic G85, and 4K crops in even more. So even with a full extended arm, it's like right in your face. It's like right there. It's right there. Just for comparison, I used that same 25mm 1.4 lens on the GH4, and in my opinion, the image looks sharper, it's better, but it doesn't have image stabilization, so it's shaky. That's annoying. That is really annoying. So it wasn't worth it to me. If I'm gonna be hand holding, you need that in-body image stabilization. It helps so much. And here's the GH4 in 4K. A little bit sharper, crops in a little more, but without that image stabilization, what's the point? Then I noticed that they had the Voigtlander 25mm f0.95, super shallow depth of field, and I was testing here how far can I go out, because the shallow depth of field is so razor thin, it's like you can't move much. So as blurry as that was and beautiful, as long as you don't move, you're just like, if you do this, you're fucked. You do that, you're fucked. And just to compare, this is the 25mm f1.4 doing the same test versus the Voigtlander. And very similar, it's just the Voigtlander had the slightly blurrier background, and I kind of need that in my life. It makes micro four thirds cameras worth it. Having that such a low aperture, that is equivalent to f1.9 on a full frame. That's almost as good as you're gonna get. I also tried the 42.5mm f1.2 lens, which I couldn't handheld. I had to stand back, and this is in autofocus, and the autofocus on the camera kind of sucks from what I could tell, but I felt that lens was no good for me. I want something I can hold in my hand, so 25mm is about the max you can do. That's a 50mm equivalent to full frame. The last test I did was with the Canon 80D. I wanted to see that autofocus, see what it was like, because that's the best autofocus on earth right now. And so this was on a 75mm 1.8 lens, and that autofocus was so nice. it has no stabilization in the lens, so that annoyed me. And I'm just doing some tests here, seeing if it will follow me. Pretty much as soon as your face gets in the frame, it smoothly focuses on you. So if that's important to you, Canon 80D will be awesome for that. It's just for me, I manual focus most of the time. I'm not doing it right now just because it's too far away. I don't feel like focusing on something here. I don't have anything as tall as me. I'm so tall. So I took a bunch of screenshots from these videos just to have a still comparison so we can do some side-by-side shit. And let's start with the G7X. G7X versus Panasonic G85 with the 20mm f1.7 lens. So you can see side by side, just the background is so much blurrier, it's nicer. Now same camera, 25mm f1.4, so you can see side by side, it's a little more cropped in and the background is just a little bit more blurry, just a little bit more special. It was noticeable, especially in the store when I was moving around. I was like, this is creamy and delicious. I want to eat it. So that lens is in the lead, and here's the Canon 80D at f1.8. It didn't look right to me. Maybe if I had a different lens, it didn't look as creamy. Background, I see all those bags. It wasn't as magical as that f1.4 for some reason. So fuck that camera. But when you compare it to the Sony a7 II, I mean, that full frame, even though it's very close aperture wise, we're talking like f1.8 versus 2.8 equivalent on the Panasonic. It's very close, but look how much more magical that Sony a7 looked. My God. It has all the downsides, no flip around screen. So annoying, but it was magic. And here's the Sony a7S II for comparison, even though it was in a different shop. Just that full frame blurs the background like nothing else. It's tough to achieve that on any other camera. The same, there's something magical about full frame, but you pay for it with money. But Micro Four Thirds might have an ace up its sleeve with the Voigtlander 0.95 aperture lens. Look at that creaminess. It's similar, it's comparable. It's close. It is close. It's as magical. And you get the Panasonic, you got all the features, the easy usability. So I'm kind of leaning towards that one. And here's just a side-by-side, both with the Panasonic G85, but one is the Voigtlander f0.95, the other is the Leica f1.4. Same focal length, although I was a little closer on the f1.4. But you can see it's just slightly blurrier and more amazing. Although the color looks better on the other lens. I don't know why that happened. But if you zoom in, you can see just everything's a little more blurrier in that background. And that's magic. So let me know down below, what was your favorite camera and lens combination? I'm leaning towards that G85 with the f0.95 lens. And there's another lens, the Mitacon, same basic lens, only it's smaller, lighter, and cheaper. I'm hoping it is as good quality. I haven't tested it, but if I can get that, I think that's as comparable as you're gonna get to a full frame camera. It's manual focus only, but I only manual focus anyway, so who cares? That's like a bonus to me. So I think we're done here. Hopefully that was helpful if you're considering buying any of these. I know it wasn't the best test. Sometimes the backgrounds were different. I was in different sections of the store. I could have made it better, the same exact background, but I didn't. So you'll have to live with this. And tell me what you thought down below and recommend a good camera, because I want one. I don't need it. It's stupid because this one does everything. It's just it doesn't have the mic input and I gotta sync it separately. It's annoying. I gotta use this thing all the time. So, first world problems, I know. Okay, we're done here. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.